Hi, 大家好. Your computer deserves the best protection. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your files, your privacy, and your future with SourceSock One. Click the link below in the description to get yours and stay one step ahead of hackers.
My name is MD, or full name MDDM, that's like my rapper name. So I do for work, I do like KOL and like rap. I basically have my own recording studio, as you can see. And I do rap, and I come from Israel, but I grew up here in Taiwan.
When is the first time you came to
So
Taiwan?
first time I came to Taiwan was in 1997, when I was 4 years old. And then I left in 2000, after the really big earthquake in September. My family was like, okay, we're gonna leave now. So we left after the earthquake, and then I moved to Hong Kong for 2 years. Then I went back to my home country for another 2 years. And then I came back to Taiwan in 2004 at the age of 11. And I've been here ever since.
What made you start making this historical?
Because I love history. Like, my daily routine is very boring. I wake up, I read history, I go to sleep. Like, that's what I do every day. I just love to read. So I was like, why don't I just combine history with rap?
Symbol of ambition, always reaching high. Stroll through Jolphin, lanterns glowing bright. A mountain town that comes alive at night. From Taroko Gorge where the rivers roar.
So Taiwan's history was mainly like, kind of like independent indigenous communities and like pirates. There's a lot of pirates that came to Taiwan because it was expensive to have an outpost for the dynasties here in Taiwan because it was far and the seas are pretty rough. So a lot of the time, yes, they claimed that Taiwan was part of China, but they didn't really enforce it. So a lot of the people independently kind of had their own thing going on here. One reason that Japan was able to kind of take over Taiwan was basically there was a Japanese boat. This is a very famous incident that happened. I think it's called the Mudan incident, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the name. It's called the Mudan incident. And it was when a boat of kind of Japanese subjects, I say subjects because they weren't Japanese, they were Ryukin, which is the Ryukin. It's those islands right under the south of Japan. Yeah, so they were 44 Ryukin fishermen, and they were shipwrecked on Taiwan at the very south, like around the Taidong area, well, the Mudan Taidong area. And they were attacked by the Paiwan people. And they were killed, and Japan was like to the Qing dynasty is like, hey, like, you guys control this area, like they just killed some of our subjects, you know, can you guys like figure out something about that? And Qing was like, oh, we don't really control what's going on here, we don't really have control over them. And then Japan was like, oh really, you don't really have control over the island, huh? And then like a couple years after that, Japan just kind of came into
Other than creating reels and singing or like rapping, what else do you do?
So I collect coins. I'm a coin collector. I collect coins from a bunch of different countries, banknotes from a bunch of different countries, and I have a pretty good Taiwanese collection. I have almost every coin Taiwan has minted except for gold coins. So many people don't know this, but actually Taiwan did used to have its own gold coins. And so how did these gold coins come about is basically when Chiang Kai-shek escaped from China, he had to pay his soldiers, and he had gold. He didn't know how else to pay his soldiers. So he created actually 2 Taiwanese gold coins. Now, I don't know what they go for now. I don't know what they're worth, but that's Taiwan's old gold coins. And since then they haven't had. And they've also had 1 silver coin. I have the Taiwan silver coin. It's like a 50 cent. It's a wujiao. It's a wujiao from 1949. It's a silver coin. It's the only silver coin Taiwan has ever made. And then that was the old Taiwan dollar. And then you also have the old banknotes. I have some of the older banknotes. And there was massive inflation. And then, yeah, so that whole currency collapsed. And that's why they have the new Taiwan dollars, because they introduced the new one. And the conversion rate was 40,000 of the old one is for the new Taiwan dollar.
Gold coins?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't have the gold coins. I only have the silver and the rest. I like to take pictures. I have a camera and I have a macro lens. I like to take pictures of the coins because I feel you can learn a lot about history from the coins and the banknotes, because usually a country puts what's important for them on the money. Therefore, you can learn a lot about the country's culture through the banknotes and through the money. And in ancient times, you could tell if a country was going to go to war because of the coins, because you needed the metal, because it was made out of metal. So if the coin suddenly started getting thinner and smaller, you're like, oh, they're saving the metals up. That means they're about to go to war. So you could tell a lot about, the plans of just by looking at the coins.
Very interesting.
And I feel like, there's history. Like my oldest coin in my collection is a British coin from 1844. I just feel, just to look at it to say, wow, this coin is almost 200 years old. Like imagine, I like to imagine what history might it have seen when it was created. What was the world like when it was created? It's just so interesting for me to actually start deep diving into that and be like, wow, so much has changed. So I have coins that have about 90 countries, and banknotes I have about 80. Coins I have about 1,000 something coins, and banknotes I have about 500 something banknotes. 1928 Zonghua Mingguo from Shanghai. This is so during that time it was part of there was the foreign enclave in Shanghai. So on the front it looks like an old Chinese banknote, but on the back it looks like $1.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is very interesting.
Because this is from the American side. This one is not new Taiwan dollar. This is old Taiwan dollar. So this one is from 35年, so 1946. So this is still old Taiwan dollar. You can see the old Taiwan Bank in the front. And this is Taiwan, and on the back, this is the battle of this is from 1663. This battle when the Ming kicked the Dutch out. So this is this battle. This is the battle, and then this is the old Taiwan dollar. The
money tells the history.
Yeah. I think 100 years. Or 90 years, so 90 years, so Zhou Shunyan, so this is 90 years of the Republic.
Anyone out there and you have these old coins with you, his links will be in the description below. Get in touch and probably you guys can have a good deal. Let's go back memory lane. What is the main reason why your family brought you here in Taiwan?
So Taiwan is known for its semiconductors, and my dad's job is basically involving something to do with semiconductors. So the company was like, oh, we need somebody in Asia. And they were like, we have Taiwan, Taiwan is the center for it. So we relocated from Israel to Taiwan.
Growing up in an Asian culture, how you look different. How is it like growing up here?
At the beginning, it bothered me because people were like, oh, why Gore? Am I Gore? I was like, oh, but I've been here for so long. Why doesn't society accept me as part of it? But over time, I was kind of like, you know what? It's okay. I do look different, and it's just the reality of the situation. So now when people say, a lot of people still say to me, oh, welcome to Taiwan. I tell them, oh, thank you. I love it here. Great place. I just kind of, try to find happy moments within it. After I have conversations with people in Taiwan, actually a lot of people, they're like, oh, so you're Taiwanese. Even Taiwanese people, they're like, oh, you're Taiwanese. I'm like, sure, okay, I can be Taiwanese. I'm okay with that. There's nothing, doesn't bother me.
What would you say Taiwan has taught you?
I guess Taiwan taught me to kind of be patient, to kind of be like, okay, you just have to take your time. Things will come when things will come. But as recently I started reading more about I Ching and Confucianism and stuff. Actually, it's a very important part of the teaching. Is you cannot rush things. You have to let time come with things. So I learned, okay, maybe that's kind of because I grew up here for so long, I didn't really understand it, but I felt it. So I learned to just be patient, and things will come when they will come. So I understand the Taiwanese culture better than I understand my own culture because I grew up in it and I've read more about it. But I also understand that the reality is that I am never going to be Taiwanese purely because of how I look. And that's okay. I've accepted it. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I've accepted that people won't consider me to be Taiwanese, and that's okay with me. I'm at peace with it. But I still appreciate this culture that I grew up in. And, I try to be able to kind of fit into the society as much as possible, because in the teachings of Sun Yat-sen, he has his 3 principles of the people. One of his principles is Minzu, which is nationalism. Basically, he said that if you're able to assimilate into the culture, it doesn't matter how you look. As if you can assimilate in the culture, you're welcome into the culture.
Do you think Taiwanese are following this teaching?
From my conversations with Taiwanese people, I feel like there is a kind of, basically every time that the party changes, they educate, the history curriculum changes. Because I've read the history curriculum of both. And they change certain identities. So one of them promotes more of a Taiwanese independence. The other one promotes more of a kind of oh, no, but actually we're Zonghua, right? We're part of the greater China, basically, right? And I feel because of that, there's kind of a
Views?
lack of identity. Even me talking, even I've talked to a bunch of, because I make history reels, so I've talked to many Taiwanese have sent me messages, and I've talked to them, and even they said that like there's kind of like missing of like this sense of identity of what does it mean to be Taiwanese. There's no like majority that says, okay, this is what it means to be Taiwanese. There's a lot of many small groups, and then some of them, yes, maybe they follow the teachings of Sun Yat-sen, but others they'll be like, oh no, but like maybe this or maybe that. So I feel like there's a lack of kind of identity, but also we have to accept the fact that a lot of the history did come from what is modern day China today. But I mean, it's not China, because modern China and Taiwan are not the same, because one is, you know, after 1949, there was a split. But I would say that we have to accept that the 5,000 years of history are part of the culture, and they have a very heavy influence on the culture. So I think there has to be some kind of balance. But also, we cannot forget also the indigenous people in Taiwan and the influence that there is from their culture as well. So I think it's just a mix of a lot of things, and I think over time, because Taiwan is still a young democracy. It's only about 25 years old since it was able to get like real democracy after the fall of basically the KMT.
What is one standout cultural difference between Taiwanese and Israeli?
Taiwanese are very reserved. They're not very loud. They're very quiet, you know. It's all about the flow of the society, which goes back to Confucius' teaching, which is like, you know, the society is important. Israel is very individualistic society, very similar to like America or Western ideas, where it's like the individual person is more important than the society. And so Taiwanese are very quiet. They're very reserved. If they cannot do something, they won't say they cannot do it. They'll just say "没办法." But we all know "没办法" just means I can't be bothered to do this. Go find somebody else to do it. Like, we know that's what it means. And in Israel, people are very loud. But it's not because it comes from like a bad place. It's just how we are culturally. And sometimes it's even for me personally, I go back to my home country and people tell me, they're like, oh, you didn't grow up here, did you? I'm like, no, I didn't grow up here. They're like, yeah, we can see by your mannerisms that you're not from here.
You have some Taiwanese in you.
I have a lot of, actually, like how I hold myself like around people is very much more Taiwanese than Israeli, a lot more.
If you are to change anything in Taiwan.
Spices, I feel like there's a lack of like general spices in Taiwan. Like a lot of the spices when I cook, I have to bring from my home country because we're in the Middle East and, we have different spices that you can't find here. So one thing I'll change is just more flavors and spices for the food.
You could move to maybe the US or the Europe or somewhere else. Why do you continue to stay in Taiwan?
Because Taiwan's the best place to live. It's not bad. It doesn't get better than this. I can go outside safe. Nothing's going to happen to me. I couldn't do that in Europe or America. You can't just go out at night. It's safe. Taiwan is just the best place to live. It's peaceful. There's no wars. I just love it here. Everything functions. People are respectful. You lose something, no one's going to rob you. It's like, why would I want to go anywhere else?
If you had to introduce any Israeli culture to Taiwanese, what culture would you like to introduce?
I would say maybe the pride in the nation. Like, Israelis are very patriotic people. We're very proud of our country, and we really support our country. And I think that Taiwanese underappreciate what Taiwan is, and I think there should be more patriotism, or in Chinese, 爱国. Not nationalism, patriotism. 爱国. Yeah. Because that one is a slippery slope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there should be more patriotism, more pride in the country to be like, yes, this is what we've achieved. And I think Taiwanese really underappreciate what Taiwan is. I think it needs more love from the locals.
What advice do you have for anyone who wishes to come to Taiwan?
So I have this thing called the 2 to 10. It's the 2 year to 10 years, right? So in the first 2 years, you're in a bubble. So the first 2 years, you're kind of like, wow, this place is amazing. And it is. It has its magic. And then when you've been here for longer than 2 years, up until about 10 years, that's when you start to see those tiny little may banfas, where it's like you want to do something and it's like, oh, may banfa. It's like the frustrations, the small frustrations. But I feel like once you reach about 10 years, you're kind of just like, you kind of start to appreciate these little may banfas, and you're like, oh, May Banfa. It's like, of course, yes, of course, May Banfa. Then after you've passed the 10 years, I feel like you can stay here forever because you've kind of gotten used to the small little nuances.
Do you have anything else to tell Taiwanese people?
Love your country more. It's a beautiful country. Appreciate it for what it is. It is special, and it really doesn't get much better than this. So please appreciate your country more. I know a lot of Taiwanese people, when they go to Europe and they come back, they're like, wow, I learned how to appreciate the country more. You don't have to go to Europe. You have freedom of speech. You can say what you want to say. It's safe. Really appreciate your country more for what it is. It's really one of the greatest places in the world to live in.